you.
In a culture informed by Jesus,
Yeah.
we are encouraged to ask. That's a good thing
Sure.
your son is experiencing. My problem is, on the other hand, Islam, which has inspired many cultures across the world, is telling you the very opposite.
Yeah.
And that is where I completely agree. Being able to ask a question or ask any question you might have doesn't define the entirety of Islam. I completely agree.
Yeah.
But it defines a very important aspect of a religion. It defines a very important aspect of a culture, of inquisitiveness and finding answers. So you're growing in knowledge, you're making sure you're on the right path. Let me tell you, you gave an example earlier. I'll give you a couple of examples.
Sure.
Now clearly, it might trouble you entirely if you genuinely ask the question, does Islam lead me to life? That will trouble you, because the real answer is that it won't. And so that will trouble you despite the fact that perhaps you grew up your entire life as a Muslim.
Right.
But the fact that it would trouble you, doesn't mean you don't ask that.
No,
because
of course.
You ask and find and you leave Islam.
Right.
Leaving Islam is the best course of action in this regard. And that is where what I find in the Quran is the Quran prevents you from doing this. And so let me read this again. What does it say? O you who have believed. Surah 5, Al-Ma'idah, Ayat 101. O you who have believed. They have already believed. For whatever reason, without reason, they have believed in some areas. Do not ask about things which, if they are shown to you, will distress you. Don't ask.
Yeah.
Is this a good idea?
So again, and maybe just me, because it happened to me recently, I take that and read that as example. Maybe it doesn't apply to everything across the board, but in that particular situation, if I said, no, I want to know what happens to someone who is in their grave, if it's good or bad, I want to know.
Yeah.
And let's say God says, you know what? I told you don't ask. If shown to you, it will cause you trouble. And I see what happens. Now, I've seen it, and now I'm distressed. Right? Now I'm scared, and whatever you want to call it. And then, my family, I go tell them, oh my God, I saw this. Right? Now they
That's
also...
one example.
No, but the point is that is one line. It's saying...
Clearly, when you ask a million questions, with answers to 10 of those, you could be in deep trouble, and you might have been in a better state without asking. No problem, because you're already on the right track. No problem.
But I don't think this is not a blanket statement for the whole religion, though.
But no, this is a blanket.
No, this is not right, Hassan. Am I right?
It's not a blanket statement. So
Help me understand.
You don't take a single verse in isolation. You take the book in its entirety. In the Quran, it also says "Afala ta'qilun."
You know how entirety works?
Huh?
How does entirety work?
Entirety.
How does it work?
You take the book in its whole.
Yeah, but how do you take a book as a whole?
The entire context.
Well, you have to
do. I'll tell you how you do it. The way you take the entirety, the whole, is by going through one at a time. One, which is what I'm doing right now.
Sure.
If you ignore the one that I'm taking, then you're not taking the whole. So I'm showing the one. Please focus, and you need to engage. Don't not answer the question at hand. Answer the question I have asked and explain how that fits into the entirety.
You don't take it in isolation.
Sure. I'm not isolating, but I'm asking one ayat at a time. This is the first ayat I'm asking. I'll add more also to this. What's the first one? O you who have believed, do not ask about things which, if they are shown to you, will distress you. I'll give a good example for this. You gave an example of a question which perhaps need not have been asked, and even if you hadn't asked, you wouldn't have lost much, which is, if Islam is true, if something happens in a grave, even if you did not know what exactly, you're still fine. But I'm going to give you another example of a thing which would have benefited you if you had asked, which would have also distressed you, which is, is Islam true? And the answer is terrible. No, it isn't.
Not true. Not true.
Islam is not true. And that answer will distress you for maybe people who leave brainwashing systems really go through trauma for a long time.
Yeah.
People who leave Islam, people who leave Jehovah's Witnesses and other similar brainwashing cults
Yeah.
go through trauma because they were not forced to ask. They believed in something without evidence in the times past. So that is where that's one example of why you should be able to ask, even if you think things could be distressing when the answers are presented, because you need to make sure you are on the right track. And so asking is still useful,
Yeah.
even though amongst a million questions, 10 of them
Sure.
could distress you. And that is where, let me add one more detail. Surah 3, I already read Surah 5, Ayat 101. I'll add one more. Surah 3, Ayat 7. One more detail, which again, in every area which speaks about things that you don't understand, the Quran's edict is very clear. Don't ask. And I'll demonstrate that by showing one more example. Surah 3, Ayat 7. What does Surah 3, Ayat 7 say? It is He who has sent down to you the book. In it are verses precise. They are the foundation of the book. And others unspecific, i.e. imprecise. As for those in whose hearts is deviation, they will follow that of it which is unspecific, seeking discord and seeking an interpretation. Seeking an interpretation. You see, the crime that they do is, you are told in the Quran there are some things which are clear, some things which are not clear, and you are being accused. Muslims are being accused when they want to find out things which are not clear as to what they really mean. You are accused of seeking an interpretation, and therefore in your hearts is deviation. In other words, trying to find even details concerning the Quran is apparently evil. And that stands contrary to what Jesus said. Ask, seek, knock. That stands contrary to what you said your son enjoys in the Western world, which enjoys a Christian foundation.
Right.
In the UK, you are allowed to ask. You are encouraged to ask. In Islamic world, you are not supposed to ask. If you ask, your heads may roll, and that's terrible. Help me understand what in the Quran contradicts what I've said so far.
Right. So again, I think
Help me understand what in the Quran contradicts what I... Please listen to me. Help me understand what in the Quran contradicts what I have said so far and tells you any doubt you have about the Quran, please ask. Is there any such verse in the Quran?
So of course, our Prophet said what? He said, go seek knowledge, even if you've got to go travel to China. Back then, who knows, China was like thousands of miles away. It's nothing wrong with asking and seeking knowledge. So I think you have to separate, right, a human mind that's looking for answers and the information that God and His Prophet has already given to us. There's reasons behind the way they say certain things, and you have to, as a believer, believe in when they tell you, listen, some secrets are better left secrets. Don't seek too much, don't ask, because they can distress you. But then they also will tell you to ask questions.
Prophet says, go seek knowledge, even if it takes you to China.
Right.
Where is that?
What do you mean? It's a hadith. It's a.
In other words,
it's not. It may not be in the Quran, but it's a authentic
we've gone to a
hadith.
secondary source. First of all,
Right.
We've gone to a secondary, centuries late source. Guess what? Do you know one of the important principles that the Islamic, quote unquote, Islamic scholars use to negate some hadiths as false hadiths, lying hadiths, is if they contradict the Quran. If any hadith contradicts the Quran, the hadith is wrong, even though already pre-qualification they are late.
Yeah. What hadiths are you talking about? Are there hadiths?
You are saying some hadith says, go seek knowledge even if it takes you to China.
So we don't deny it.
But Surah 3, Ayat 7 says, don't do it. Surah 3, Ayat 7. Let me read again. Surah 3, Ayat 7. What does it say? It is He who has sent down to you the book. The book meaning Quran. It is He who sent down to you the Quran. In it are verses precise. Some verses are precise. They are the foundation of the book.
Yeah.
And then it goes on. And others unspecific, meaning imprecise. It's not clear. Some are
Right.
clear, some are unclear. And it goes on, as for those in whose hearts is deviation. It's essentially saying some people have hearts which are deviant. Deviation. Whose hearts are deviant? The Quran says. I'm not saying. It is the Quran which says. Whose hearts are deviant? They will follow that of it which is unspecific.
Right.
You know the portions which are unspecific, not clear, seeking discord and seeking an interpretation. So these are people who want to find out
Could
what
you read the bracket? Could you read the bracket, please?
One second.
Could you read the bracket?
Excuse me, sir. Please stay quiet.
It says suitable to them.
You so far did
Which
not
means-
engage.
So
If you
you're-
stay
why
quiet
are
right
you
now.
literally proving your point.
Now please listen.
Could you read? But you're not reading everything. But you're not
Tafsir.
reading everything.
Excuse me, sir.
But you're not
please.
reading everything.
You didn't let me finish.
But you're not reading everything.
You didn't let me
You're
finish.
manipulating to the people around you.
This is your
You're
drama.
literally proving Allah's point.
Your drama.
You're manipulating
Okay,
the
listen.
words, His words.
I'm in the middle
to
of
prove
reading
your
right
point.
now. What does Surah 3, Ayat 7 says?
Right.
About some parts of the Quran, if you ask for interpretation, ask for meaning, you are deviant. That's what, let me finish. So whatever hadith says go to China, go to Russia is clearly not from the same source, i.e. the Islamic Allah. It's from some other source. Who knows who said what. But now the Quran is saying, if you have questions even about portions of the Quran, don't ask. Add to that. So please help me understand, what is it referring to? Surah 3, Ayat, if you please stay quiet. Surah 3, Ayat 7.
Unclear verses and find an interpretation to suit their own whims and desires.
What?
When you take an unclear verse, for example,
Like what?
example-
Choose an example. Yeah.
Alif Lam Mim, not everyone knows the meaning of that.
Does anyone know the meaning
No
of
one
it?
knows the meaning of Alif
So
Lam
no
Mim.
one knows.
No one knows the meaning of Alif Lam Mim.
Sure.
Which is why we're told not to question what Alif Lam Mim means.
Also, Alif Lam Mim shows up almost in all of the Quran, in all of the surahs, and you're told you can't even ask why.
Well, I think you're talking about the one starting
I want to
Alif Lam Mim.
You're telling me once. Surah 3, for example, Alif Lam Mim. Surah 2, for example, if I go to Surah 2 and the starting, almost very few surahs don't start with these,
But before you go to that, can I answer
And
your
you're telling
question?
me You can't even ask
No.
why it starts in that way,
Alif Lam Mim is a mystery. We know it's a
and
mystery.
you're not even
Certain things are
supposed to
mysteries.
ask.
Certain things are mysteries.
So I think right.
The question is simple. Are you telling me that you're not even supposed to ask a basic question about a pattern that shows up in almost every surah of the Quran?
So this is the
what you're telling
difference.
me?
This is the difference,
That's the
right?
height of brainwashing to me.
No,
Is
so-
that what you're saying? So
No,
you said
so-
your son asks important
No,
questions.
he does, of course. But here's the
But
difference.
he is now saying he can't ask question.
He can ask questions. That doesn't make him.
So Alif Lam Mim.
Right.
Why does it show up in most of the Quran?
So again, this is the difference between asking questions, but when you realize if the word is, hey, it is okay. If it's ambiguous or not clear, there's a reason behind it. There's a reason
So
why
please
God
help
made
me
that way.
understand.
Again,
Why is something like Alif Lam Mim, something like that, not exactly the same every time, something like that, it shows up in almost every surah of the Quran. Why?
So I think
Did you ever ask this question?
Right.
Why?
So what he's talking about is specifically those three letters together like that, right? If God Himself is saying it, this is where the difference is as a
I'm asking you
believer.
right now.
No, as
Why?
a believer.
Why is it there?
No, you can ask why, but if there's no
I am
answer,
asking right now.
Well, I don't. If
Please
we're
engage.
seek not
Why?
to ask.
Why is it there?
No, again, it's nothing wrong with asking, but if we don't have an answer, I'm not going to make one up.
Do
and
you
give
have an answer?
I don't have an answer
Did you
because
ever ask this question?
I'm sure.
Did you
Oh,
ever
I'm
ask
sorry.
this question?
There is an answer.
Sorry, just a little.
Boy, this gentleman has an answer. So
Just one. No. Sir, you wasted time last time, sir. Please. No. Excuse me, sir. I'm speaking to you. Oh, you wasted time last
no,
time.
I'm
You're
my
pushing me
first
right
time.
now.
So
You're pushing me right now. I'm asking you. So,
Yeah.
Surah 3. Excuse me. One second. I'll come to you later. You're pushing me right now. Please, if you don't touch me.
Side,
I'm not interested in
close.
music, please. If you stay there,
oh,
thanks.
sorry.
Now,
I do have to leave soon, but anyways.
so Surah 3.
Yeah.
So shall we at least? I'll tell you why. I'll give you a reason.
Oh, you
As
have
to
a
why-
reason?
I have a reason.
Okay.
So
let's
what
hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Yeah.
intelligent because
Sure.
you are.
All right.
You have
I
been.
don't want to shake your hand.
You don't want to?
No, I've seen your
Why
video.
not?
I don't like you.
Oh, you've seen his video? My first time here, so I have no
He
idea.
doesn't like me.
Yeah. Well,
What's not likable with me?
I have no idea. We'll find
You're a
out.
Blasphemer. You blaspheme the Prophet. You blaspheme us. I don't want to shake your hand.
Now, how did I blaspheme?
You constantly blaspheme.
Why are you in this country then?
I am a Christian. How did I blaspheme?
Brother, I don't want to shake your hand.
He lives in a Christian land.
Well, he doesn't live here, but yes, he does. Yeah.
Wherever he lives,
Right.
you said in the Western world, he doesn't want to shake my hand.
Yeah.
And
Well-
this is the level to which you've grown.
Yeah.
I am a Christian.
Sure.
I am not expected
Right.
to uphold Islam
Yeah.
in any manner, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I will critically ask questions which clearly you have failed to ask,
Yes.
which you have been brainwashed not to ask. I will ask. Just
Listen.
because you have been asked not to ask,
Yeah.
if you expect Christians also not to ask, it'll be ridiculous.
So there's a
And so once-
difference between
I'll finish.
asking, right?
But that's not what I'm dealing with. I'm just
with the intention to really learn, right? If you want to learn something, you ask.
So far-
if you smear
so
it
far,
with,
excuse
oh,
me.
your religion says this, Quran
So
says this,
far,
that's
I
not
have
asking,
engaged,
right?
My dear friend,
Yeah.
so far I have engaged with you in a friendly manner.
No, of course.
I've asked you.
Of course you have.
I've asked you
Yeah.
deep questions for which I'm expecting answers. You
Yeah.
tried giving some answers.
Well, I'm not a
He
scholar,
also-
number one.
He also once.
Right.
Once he also did. This is
Yeah.
exactly what I do week in week out.
Sure.
While I do this because I'm not bound to necessarily uphold
Yeah.
Islam.
Yeah,
I'm not a Muslim. I am a Christian.
sure.
I couldn't, even if I was a Muslim, I will read this and oh, this fellow isn't, this religion is asking me not to ask a
Yeah.
question. I wouldn't be a Muslim. I will leave Islam.
Will-
Now let me give you, and for your son.
So would you not
he's
read
still-
the whole book?
I've read the whole book multiple times.
Okay.
And I will therefore give you an answer right
Yeah.
now. To your son.
Yeah.
He is a young man. You seem like a
Thank you.
like a better
Yeah.
man. Certainly, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Wherever you're from, but your son needs to learn how to behave in a civil manner.
Well, he hasn't said anything to you.
No, he said he will refuse to shake my hand.
Yeah, but
on
yeah,
what
but
basis?
that-
On what basis?
Because he
on
said-
the basis that I
So-
blaspheme against his religion.
So right. So
I am not bound to not blaspheme
Yeah.
his religion.
But
Just
that-
because he has a religion,
Right.
can you imagine if I
Sure.
said, "Oh, you're a Muslim, and therefore I won't shake your hand"?
yeah, but that wouldn't offend me. I'm like, okay.
Oh, why?
But the thing
this
is, it's
not the basis by which.
but
my dear friend,
that doesn't make you uncivil,
my dear friend,
right?
once- Now this is in the UK.
Yeah.
We have such a thing called Prevent program.
Okay.
And which is an anti-terror, anti-extremist program.
Okay.
And according to anti-extremist program, we can actually look at people,
Yeah.
and if we see behavior which is uncordial in public space, we can genuinely ask the police and other authorities to follow up.
Okay.
So if someone in a public space, while genuinely merely asking questions about a religion, refuses to shake my hand, I would be a little bit wary.
Is that
And I
the
would
first
think,
time that's happened to you?
Oh, multiple times. And
Okay,
this is
so-
one of the problems with the Prevent program.
Yeah.
You know, one of the problems with the Prevent program we are having in the UK,
hands anyway.
one of the
You're gonna
problem,
blasphemize the
one of the
Prophet.
problem with the
Why do
Prevent
you wanna
program
shake hands? Why
in
do
the
you wanna
UK
shake hands?
is that we have too many such people. In other words, Islam seems to be. Now, let me go to the answer anyway. Let me go to the answer. What did I say? Surah 3, Ayat 7 says.
Yeah, we gotta get going.
Surah 3, Ayat 7 says, don't ask. If you ask, your hearts are deviant.
No, that's not
Surah
true.
5,
So
Ayat
my
1.
interpretation of that is different than what
Please,
you're saying.
please, quickly,
Okay, so
because I
again,
tried
and I know
to-
we have to go too, but there's different
give an
levels.
answer for one,
There's
but
different
let's-
levels of iman. Okay, which I don't know if you know what that means or how to explain it. Like your devotion to your. If you are the weak person, right? Shaitan or the devil will whisper and try to make you deviate and question things that can put you on the wrong path. So again, I take the Quran and the word.
My dear friend.
No, but
this
listen,
will
can
not
I?
cut this will
No,
not.
but my point is,
This will not.
if it's gonna start putting doubts in your mind, because that's what Shaitan wants
I'll give you a
anyway.
simple example.
Right? Then you're
I'll
gonna
give you a simple
deviate. Then you're gonna deviate.
Can I give you a
so,
simple
so
example?
that statement tells you.
This Quran says some portions are unspecific and therefore you can't. Which portions is it talking about apart from the Alif Lam Mim? Any other portions?
Oh, no, I'm
you
not.
won't even know, would you?
No, but again, my point. If you read
question
the
is
whole
simple.
book, I
Would
wouldn't
you know which portions?
But here's what I will tell you.
But please help me understand.
If
This is
there are
important.
portions, right?
This is
I gotta
2
go.
minutes, 2 minutes,
I just came to visit. This is my like.
the entire goal
This is interesting.
is that this is a religion for the illiterates.
That's
Beginning
not
with
true.
Muhammad, Ikra, recite, illiteracy. No one could question, no one could cross-check.
Did you take math in high school or any level?
I'm a computer science engineer,
Oh,
so I
so,
know
so
math,
you know
like-
you know science, math, algebra, and all that stuff.
know, I know.
Who are these people who created all this stuff?
Who are these people?
What was their religion?
You tell me.
Algebra. You took algebra?
You tell
Yeah.
me, sir.
It's a Muslim. You think so? No, my point is, if Muslims are illiterate,
Excuse me.
illiterate,
Excuse me.
you think that some of the biggest names, scientists, scholars,
Best response
mathematicians.
your father has.
No, but I'm saying you're saying it's illiterate.
One second.
They're not. We're
Do you
not
know the best
illiterate.
did you hear the best response your father has? Your father has.
Right, but he
To you also. The best response is not sticking to the point as an. I did
No,
not
but-
say. I did not say only illiterates are Muslims. That's not what I said.
But you're saying it's a
Please
it's
listen
a religion
carefully.
for illiterates.
Please
That's
listen.
not true.
Please listen carefully. My point is not that only illiterates become Muslims. That's not my point. Maybe you're not. Really, of course, you guys are not. That's not the point. The point I rather made was Islam as a religion is meant to be for illiterates, and that is why I'll finish. And that is why from an illiterate to illiterates through recitation, no questions asked. But we also know in the span of Islam's history, as the brainwashing continued amongst the illiterates, massive physical force was used. What did the caliphs do? What did Muhammad do? Go around with swords. And so, in the process, whereas it should have only remained a religion of illiterates, because a sword, or many swords, thousands and millions of swords were involved, even literates were forced into Islam. But the problem is, after they were forced into Islam, they were made to behave as illiterates. And that is why you both, being literates, spending most of your time in the Western world, are now saying, oh, in relation to some things, I won't ask questions. That's not good. You should behave as literates and say, I will always ask, recite. I will always ask.
No, listen. Again,
Asking questions.
I'm going to conclude by saying, you taking one surah ayah and you making it as a broad statement for all of Islam.
No.
Then you're making a claim it's a religion of the illiterates. That back then, yes.
I'll give you one
But
last
again,
chance, please.
You
I
cannot
showed
force-
two.
You can't
I
force
showed two
people-
ayats.
No, you said
Both of
sword
them
and
say-
What about the
I
Crusades?
said
They were
two
using
ayats.
swords as well, killing
I
people.
said
What's your
two
problem, man?
ayats.
you can only spread any
Against
religion.
the Muslims.
force
What about the
trying to
Crusades?
occupy Christian lands. Absolutely.
How many
Talk about the
Muslims?
Crusades.
How many?
The Muslims caused trouble in Christianity,
Because
in Europe, in Jerusalem, in Islam also.
Crusades
The
went
same topics are not a different topic. I'll ask one.
I really have to go. but
Sure.
okay.
But listen carefully. I showed you ayats from the Quran. You are saying I only showed a few ayats, but you did not show any ayat to contradict the points I made. In other words, in relation to whether you can ask questions or not, I have showed you all that is
No, but
relevant.
you are.
Do you
looking-
know of one ayat anywhere
But-
which contradicts what I have said and says,
But why would there
ask
be-
a question about
Right.
every ayat of the
But
Quran?
listen,
Is
why-
there any such ayat anywhere?
So why would there be a contradiction to God's own words?
If
why
it is
would
God, you're assuming.
Why would He tell you?
No, you're
don't
assuming
ask, and
because
then
you-
the next eye He said, no, ask.
Where?
That would make no
Where does
sense.
He say
no,
ask?
He doesn't say that for a reason.
Exactly.
Because you're saying, show me an ayah. So why would there be an ayah? That would make it actually not legit.
In other words,
one hand you're
we
saying
can agree.
one thing, and one hand you're saying
In other
something
words,
different.
we can agree that across the Quran, the net result about the behavior of being able to ask questions, even about the Quran.
But that's your
and
conclusion.
No, that is
I-
a conclusion. Please
No.
listen. No, you're contradicting yourself.
No.
That's a conclusion based on ayats in the Quran. And you are saying there is no ayat to contradict this. And therefore, based on ayats in the Quran,
Right.
which are on the subject matter at hand, we can all conclude Islam is a religion where questions are not encouraged. You're not supposed to ask questions. So you must be happy that you live in the Western world, which is inspired by Jesus. Listen to what Jesus said. Jesus said, ask, seek, knock. Those who ask will receive. Those who knock, doors will be open to
What
you.
have you received?
Oh, many things in my life, my dear friend.
From God directly,
Oh,
or from where?
absolutely, many things
So
in my
you-
life.
you've
It's
gone
a
like
very
through His
long
word.
story. Guess what, my dear friends? About the Bible, Christians ask questions all over the place, and this is why
Yeah.
we have the Cambridge University.
Is that why
Please
there's so
listen.
many versions of the Bible?
That's
They've
if
been,
I
like,
ask a question, you'll fumble
Quran
there.
is
Please,
God's word.
excuse me. There's no
Huh?
no. That's not true.
Is it?
This is no. Wait,
It's
this
not
is
God's
deviating,
word?
right?
No.
No, it's not.
So whose
It's
word
clearly
is
not.
that?
This clearly.
Satan.
Please, one second.
Satan.
Please.
Satanic
One
verses.
second,
I have to
brother.
go.
One second.
Satanic
Please,
verses.
please listen.
That's
carefully.
your opinion.
Please
No,
listen
no.
carefully.
No.
I
It's
will tell
written
you one
in the
thing
Quran.
important. My
It's
dear
written,
friend.
it's written
Please.
in the Quran.
Please, please, one.
It's a word
James,
of
once,
Yeah.
I would like to.
I feel bad for
Surah
these
53.
people,
Mama,
really.
please,
Surah
my dear
53.
Surah
friend,
53 says what?
Please, one second.
It says what?
Please, one second. I would like for you to please. So, sure. I conclude. Jesus, on the other hand, asked people to ask, seek, knock, and that is exactly why we have the Cambridge University, Oxford University, Stanford University across the Western world. You have.
And they're teaching
I'll
you
finish.
algebra that
I'll
came
finish.
from a Muslim.
I'll finish.
How
and
does that
then
make sense?
I'll finish and then you can
These
try.
universities
I'll
were-
finish.
When were they
and
built?
then you can try.
When were they built?
I will finish and then you can respond.
Do you know how many Muslim
I will
scholars
finish
and
I will
scientists
finish. You can
studies
finish.
led to this?
My dear friend, I will finish and then you can try giving
No,
some specific
I love to. Next time.
universities. So much so, even in the Western, even in the Islamic world today, we have universities and educational institutions set up by who? By the Western world. Americans coming in, setting up international schools. Why? Because what is overflowing from here, thanks to Jesus. Because you have been trained not to ask questions, even though you have come here. But who have come from here? Encourage you to ask questions.
I think
they have built.
There
So
are different
you. Thank you.
contexts. We're talking about different contexts.
Islam
No,
has
no,
produced
no,
nothing.
no,
Islam
No,
has
no.
produced ignorance
Nice
and
meeting you, by
illiteracy.
the way.
Good
Nice
to see
meeting
you.
you. Okay, thank you.
God's
Thank you
blessings.
so much. Thank you.
Would you like to take my hand, please? Unfortunate, but thank you.